Then I have a feeling that you enjoyed the next match quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So this is kind of like my time to kind of step into the spotlight here. I mean, obviously, the enjoyment of this match is going to come down to how much you like enjoy the Japanese strong style. And I have been a New Japan fan for quite some time now, so I'm kind of used to like seeing this sort of performance. But I know, like, initially there was some buzz and excitement about potentially Tanahashi coming over and making an appearance on All Out, and for one reason or another that didn't happen, so we got this match against Kojima. Definitely a lesser known star from Japan, but in his own right, a Japanese legend, very recognisable in Japan, and former IWGP champion in his own right. This was your typical strong style match. I don't know if are you a fan of strong style, Linnea, or have you seen much of it in the past? Or?
I haven't seen much of it, to be honest. Seen some matches that I have liked, but I like to, but I haven't seen enough to, or nearly as much as you have, really.
Yeah, it was a good addition to this show because I think, like AEW. Like if you go back to the very very start of this project where we had All In, that was obviously before AEW was an established thing, and I think the idea was to introduce this kind of variety show of different aspects of professional wrestling and kind of put it all together. And I think with matches like this, I think they've retained some of that. That ability to portray all aspects of wrestling, the good and the not so good. And I think strong style definitely has a place in modern professional wrestling, and like Western audiences are more aware of it now. And I suppose it didn't go completely over the top. Like there's still some good grappling involved and some good moves and transitions, but I just thought the narrative of this match just made a lot of sense, and I really enjoyed watching it. But yeah, it was the appearance by the greatness of Minoru Suzuki that really kind of caught my attention here. God love Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. It was great to see them, but my biggest mark-out moment was Minoru Suzuki walking down to the ring. I love that guy. I just think he's one of the best things to come out of wrestling for a long time.
So I'll be honest with you, Dan, I haven't seen any Minoru Suzuki matches in the past, but his theme song is unbelievable, Kazai ni Nare. And as you said, I'm sure like the entrance comes across much better in Japan, but I thought the Chicago audience shouting Kazai ni Nare as he walked into the ring was a pretty cool moment too.
Yep, I was at home shouting it myself as well. I am yeah, I properly got into the like that kind of mark. That's when you first watch wrestling and you really sort of get into it and get a bit excited about it. And there's certain moments that kind of bring you back to that sort of mindset, and this was definitely one of them. But no, I mean, like Suzuki. I mean, for people who maybe don't know much about him, like he's definitely got this like the credibility that comes with being a shoot fighter as well. Like he's done a lot of MMA stuff in the past. I think that the way he's portrayed, like the way he carries himself, the way that the announcers react to him in Japan, like he's got this reputation where he kind of come out and just attack a lot of the what they call that, the young boys, like the guys in training that are out at ringside. It just got this very sort of vicious side to him. Like honestly, if I had to choose between meeting Brock Lesnar or Minoru Suzuki down a dark alley, I would gladly meet Lesnar. Like there's just something genuinely quite terrifying about Suzuki, and I think he just carries that through to his on-screen personality as well.
Absolutely, everything about him just screams like old school badass.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like he's getting on in age now as well. As sort of almost talking about him like a sort of star of the future, which he definitely isn't. But even that's well, he's made that work as well. He's made kind of aging work, because he's just turned into this sort of grumpy old man that could still completely kick your ass at any given opportunity. So I don't know like what the whether he's going to stick around for much longer or he's going to have any other matches in AEW, but I certainly hope so. There's certainly a few guys that I'd like to see him compete against in AEW. We'd love to see what he does with Kenny Omega. I think that'd be really entertaining to watch.
I'd love to see him hit Kenny Omega with a Gotch Power Drive.
Yeah, that was another thing as well, because seeing him hit the pile driver on Moxley was pretty special in itself, because again there's this sort of running theme with his matches where he always tries to go for that move and never pulls it off, and then normally when he loses it's because he tries to do that move, which he doesn't really need to. Like, he's beating his opponent down so much that he probably could just pin them, but he just wants to kind of finish on this flurry by doing the Gotch pile driver, and he often misses it. So it was kind of cool to actually see him hit it against Moxley at All Out. Yeah, I'm still yet to catch up with the sort of weekly show, so I haven't seen his match on Dynamite yet with Moxley, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I thought the match was okay. I wasn't exactly blown away by Suzuki versus Moxley. The most disappointing thing about that match for me was the fact that they cut away, or at least the feed I was watching cut away during Suzuki's entrance. So that sort of put me in a, they were sort of starting from a bad position to begin with, and I wasn't going to look at it very favorably. But yeah, and as you said, I mean, hopefully he'll do something else in AEW, and maybe Kenny Omega or somebody like that.
Yeah. I can't believe they cut that. That's just sacrilege. Like, that's almost a level of cutting the Undertaker's entrance. So you just don't do that. But again, it's a bigger thing in Japan, I suppose. So maybe the Western audiences didn't quite get it, but. So yeah, I mean, I must admit, moving on to the women's match, I mean, I didn't. I think I enjoyed the first two matches so much that I kind of zoned out a little bit in the women's world championship match. I don't want to take anything away from it. I think Britt Baker is definitely a worthy champion, and I think she's given some stability to the women's division, because I think pretty much since AEW's inception, the women's division's really suffered from not having that kind of consistency and that likeable star. I know she's she technically plays the heel, but she's obviously very popular amongst the AEW fans. Chris Statlander, I've seen bits and pieces of in the past, but she's never really gained my attention too much. Did you watch the match? Like, do you have anything to say about this match? Because I really don't, to be honest.
I'm not a whole lot done. I think, like you said, Britt Baker's a fantastic character and everything. Chris Statlander, not a big fan of. But when Britt Baker did the Panama Sunrise, my alarm bells started to go off, and I'm thinking, is Adam Cole going to be on the show?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should have known, actually. That's a pretty big hint.
Yeah. So that was that was the one comment I had to make on this show. But that's my one takeaway from this match, really. I've never been the biggest Ruby Riott fan, but then again, they never gave her a chance to do much in WWE. So, so let's see what happens. I mean, maybe they'll have a good feud.
Yeah, I suspect so. I mean, I definitely enjoy the Casino Battle Royal match more than the championship one, to be honest. I think there's some good, like a little bit of a reminder that actually, despite the fact that the I suppose like the overall narratives and everything of the women's division haven't been great, there's definitely some stars in there.